Hold the line. What up, viewers? What up, what up? Calc Soups here, and today is Friday, January 29th, and that means it's time for a quick recap of the week in video game news. First, I always like to start off with whatever video games have launched this week, and a game that I've been kind of anticipating for quite some time has launched. The Xbox exclusive The Medium, which I talked about its live action trailer a couple weeks ago. The Medium got pushed out of December, so I've kind of been waiting for this for quite some times. But it has finally launched this week. The reviews are coming in kind of so-so. For the 10 or so hour experience, reviewers are giving it a 71 Metacritic. So it's a little bit of a mixed review. I'm excited. I just finished Cyberpunk, so I'm kind of looking for a small bite-sized experience, maybe with some spooks. I'm a big fan of some spoopy content, so I'm looking forward to that. I haven't read too much on it because I don't want to spoil anything. I saw like an 8-minute gameplay breakdown of kind of how it plays through, and it looks like a mash of a couple different mechanics. But overall, I'm just kind of excited to go on this really kind of spooky, thrillery, interesting content, and just kind of play through it. It's also one of the first titles that's launching exclusive for kind of a platform. So this is kind of one of the exclusive Xbox games, because I believe it's only launching on Xbox Series S and Xbox Series X. So, none of the cross-platform stuff. So, this would be kind of interesting to see if this game is kind of developed with the full robust power of like an Xbox Series X, or if it still kind of feels a little old gen-y because it was developed probably on old gen, depending on how long they've been developing the game. So I'm looking forward to Bloober Team's latest game, but let me know what you think of it down below in the comments. Like I said in the cold open, hold the line, game Stonks. This is definitely the biggest piece of information that we could be talking about this week. So for those of you who aren't aware, Wall Street Bets, the Reddit thread Wall Street Bets, where people kind of go to get stock advice and kind of do some day trading, which day trading's kind of been on the rise since COVID. People have been stuck at home, so they've been doing a lot of day trading, and they turn to resources like Wall Street Bets to kind of see what they should bet. Also, as another piece of background, GameStop hasn't been doing very well, and a bunch of Wall Street investors have been shorting on it. And for those of you who don't know or haven't heard a lot, or just haven't watched The Big Short, which it seems like everybody's kind of watching The Big Short and Wolf of Wall Street this week, based on the fact that this is happening. A short is something that happens, and I don't have a PhD in economics, but a short is when someone buys a stock at a specific price, and then if it goes down, they tend to make money on that, or they're betting on something doing poorly. So based on the fact that they've been short selling GameStop for several months, and they've been doing it rather aggressively, the Redditors behind Wall Street Bets have kind of formed a union and started buying GameStop stocks, also known as Stonks, for those internet fans out there. But yeah, so they've been buying it. So because a lot of people are buying it now, the prices is going up, which is causing short sellers to have to rebuy back into it. This is known as a short squeeze, and in order to cover their losses, the Wall Street kind of investors have to rebuy into it, which increases the price, which causes other Wall Street shorters to kind of rebuy into it. And it's kind of gotten this kind of death spiral going, and it's been going throughout the week. And a couple Wall Street firms have actually declared bankruptcy. I think like $13 million have already been lost by kind of the short sellers. So GameStop is definitely not the company I would get behind. I've actually just kind of been expecting it to die rather quickly recently, but I definitely appreciate the little guy, or a bunch of little guys, or with these Wall Street Bets, kind of sticking it to Wall Street. So I'm excited for this. I've done a business and invested in just to see, just with some chump change to see kind of what happens. But yeah, I think an exciting time. A lot of crazy stuff is happening in 2021, and I just can't believe that something like this is happening. Another kind of foundational piece is that people have been looking up what the heck Robinhood is. Robinhood is what has been kind of the app that people use to invest, unlike Ameritrade or eTrader or any of those kind of apps. But Robinhood's kind of been the focus because as people were buying GameStop stock so quickly, Robinhood decided to, slow it down, like make it so that people couldn't buy, which definitely, definitely seems like messing with a free market. If people choosing to kind of get behind this, then don't get in their way. Also, this is kind of started a cultural fervor. People are doing it with AMC, another dying company that's kind of that they're trying to raise up and see if we can get a bunch of people in and raise the stock price on that. People are doing it with Dogecoin. People are doing it with BlackBerry as well. I think I was reading. So yeah, if it seems like it's going to be a dangerous time right now for people to be short selling. So if you have any game or any skin in the stock market game, this is a crazy time to be involved. So it's definitely fun and interesting to watch, and I'm excited to kind of see what comes out of this. Changing subjects completely, moving on to kind of this year's delays. I feel like once a week I'm talking about delays. Returnal, PS5's roguelike shooter, that was set to come in March has now been pushed to I think a lot of this is all these delays are just again more of this kind of ripple effect with the pandemic and COVID. So you're still not going to have to wait much longer, but a 6 to 8 week delay isn't that big a deal. Talking about looking back in the past, Capcom just announced that they had a really big year last year, along with a lot of other gaming companies. They had the strongest year they've had in 41 years, which is very impressive. And they started listing out, kind of touting their biggest franchises. Resident Evil is at the top of the list with 107 million units sold so far in the franchise history, with Monster Hunter right behind it with 66 million. I think a lot of that was supported by Monster Hunter World and how many people bought that across PlayStation and PC. And then below that was kind of Street Fighter, but they also rounded out the list with Devil May Cry and Dead Rising, and all their other, and Mega Man and all their other really strong franchises. But that was kind of the top three that they had. So very good. I'm excited to see kind of what Capcom's doing next, especially with like Monster Hunter Rise coming to the Switch sometime in the next few months. I'm not always going to talk about Tencent, but I've talked about them now back-to-back weeks. Tencent has invested a minor stake in the studio Don't Nod, the developers behind Life is Strange. One of my favorite studios. I love the Life is Strange games. One of my first streams ever was playing the Life is Strange games. I really like those games. So this seems like more of a play to get Don't Nod it kind of seems like Tencent invests in someone to help partner with them as they kind of sell in the Chinese market. I think that's what kind of this play, at least what I was reading, was kind of how this is playing out. Is Tencent invests and then they help you kind of get into the Chinese market or help to kind of break that out. So that kind of seems like the play here. I don't know that they're going to try and take over Don't Nod or buy them out completely, but kind of make a partnership to kind of help both, kind of a win-win situation. PlayStation 5, as it was previously known, or the company that was making customizable faceplates for your PlayStation 5, has now rebranded after a lawsuit to CustomizeMyPlates.com, and now they're back up and running and selling PlayStation 5 faceplates. So if you want something other than your white PlayStation 5, which I definitely do, you can buy them in black, red, or blue for $70. I think they're all still on pre-order. I didn't quite see when the date would be for them to be released. But you can also replace the kind of the center part as well, the kind of where the USBs go. You can change that from black to white. So very interesting stuff. I kind of want to get a little bit customization. The PlayStation 5 has a lot of real estate to kind of mess with, so I was kind of interested. I think I talked about this back in November when this kind of first popped up. So I've been following this one. I'm excited for it, and let me know what color PlayStation 5 you think you would want, either out of those or of any color out there. So let me know what you think down below. Conan O'Brien is among us. No, what I mean to say is Conan O'Brien, kind of reminiscent of his old Clueless Gamer sketches. He sat down to play Among Us with a couple of the showrunners, so it was exciting to see. I love kind of Conan O'Brien's Clueless Gamers, him being willing to sit down and play a game even though he kind of reviews it and doesn't know what's going on. I just think it's a pretty fun parody on like video game reviews. So it was fun. I'll have a link down below in the description. Let me know what you think. Magic is finally doing something interesting rather than just the card game. They're kind of moving into this kind of Diablo RPG space. So I saw an announced video this week for Magic Legends, which is, again, it's like a Diablo, like you run around as a planeswalker trying to defend the multiverse, but you kind of choose cards to put in your deck, and that determines what kind of mage you are, and that has all of the associations as depicted typically in the Magic color realm. So white is for healing, and black is necromancy, blue is control, and red is direct damage, and green is big creatures. So you're kind of rounding out, and you can even, it looks like you'll even be able to kind of dual color if you want. But yeah, it was pretty exciting. I think it's a really good opportunity to kind of see Magic grow from just kind of the cards and being just the cards to kind of, you know, evolving and building out the world as a whole. I don't know that people, you know, I think they'll have to do a really good job kind of introducing people to like planeswalkers and what all that kind of stuff means, because people just see Magic and they think the cards and how does this relate. But kind of building your own character within the Magic universe, multiverse, I think is definitely going to be very interesting. And I haven't played a good Diablo clone in quite some time, so I'm looking forward to possibly playing this with my friends. Got a little bit of information about the Borderlands movie cast. They finally cast the lead roles of Roland and Lilith. Roland will be played by Kevin Hart and Lilith by Cate Blanchett. I can see kind of both of them in these roles. You know, I think Kevin Hart being kind of the comedy aspect will be interesting, because Roland, I always thought of as like kind of a hard ass, so it might be a different character for Kevin Hart to play. But I'm really excited to see kind of the flaming red hair of Lilith on Cate Blanchett. She can do anything. Galadriel, one of my favorite characters. So looking forward to seeing that play out. And I'm just kind of excited to have a Borderlands game or Borderlands movie kind of hit the theaters. So, or, you know, whatever's left of the theaters when the movie finally comes out and the COVID's finally over. Last but certainly not least, more about Diablo. Vicarious Vision, which was recently kind of gutted by Activision, much to the chagrin of people who've enjoyed kind of the Tony Hawk franchise that they've worked on, was kind of gutted, and then started working with Blizzard and to try and help them with what they're working on. They started working on a Diablo 2 remake. So I think there's been rumors about a Diablo 2 remake for quite some time. I think people are really nostalgic for Diablo 2 because it was a really great game, and there's much cause to be nostalgic for it. I would love to see it kind of in 4K and brought up onto modern specs. Some people still play it just as it is because it looks that good and it plays that well. But I'm excited to see kind of a Diablo 2 remake, and the people that are still left at Vicarious Vision, I trust them to be able to kind of pull this off. So because I think they're a really great studio, so, or at least what's left of them, which unfortunately I have to say. So yeah, looking forward to seeing more on kind of this Diablo 2 remake. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy this content. If you do, follow, like, and subscribe to me on YouTube and Twitch. I'll have a link down below in the description. Thanks again. I hope you have a super day. Hope you have a super weekend, and hope you have a super day. Bye. Hold the line, Game Stonks.